Hello guys, Igor Ramariz here. I want to share with you some reflection about people purchasing clubs in Brazil, and I think sounds very good, looks like very good, but I think people are forgetting about the detail in terms of who feeds the process. So it's a process, it's like a factory, and buying a Brazilian club, you are not buying the process, you are buying a piece of the process. And it means the raw material is not inside of the process. So beautiful facilities, okay, wonderful soccer fields, nice. Maybe they are gonna use futsal, awesome. But this is not the raw material. This is not the main point of the process. This is the transformation. You have the raw material, you have the factory, and you have the custom or the customer. So at least in a general way you have three stages, and they are buying the middle one, the factory, where the development happens. The process is in there, nice, okay. But what about the raw material? Doesn't make sense to me. I would like to share with you my thoughts, and I may be wrong, but I think it's important if you have a reflection about the thing, and always try to improve, enhance, and get things better. So I have here 7 topics. The last one is about conclusion, but so 6 topics plus conclusion. And I want to share with you. The first one is what defines how tall will be the building. So a soccer player is like a building. You have the foundation, and then you start to grow. The development, the improvement. So what defines, if you talk to an engineer and talk to him about a building, he's going to ask you how many floors. 2 floors, 3, 13, 15, 20 floors. So depending on how tall is the building, and then he will start to figure out about the foundation. So the main point is the foundation. A very, very poor foundation doesn't help you to have a 15, 20 floors building. It's common sense. So let's bring this to a soccer player. Where or what is the foundation? Because in terms of golden age, the first 7, 8, 9 years of this kid will be the most important years in terms of brain connection, in terms of brain activity. So motor coordination, skills, neurons, everything here. The main point happens in the first 7, 8, 9 years old, or 9 years of the individual. So what about this in terms of club? Because a club take the kid with 9 years old. The foundation is already there. When the club take the kids, okay, I'm gonna play for my club. The only thing that's gonna happen is development. You cannot change the foundation anymore. So when people buy a club, even they have the wonderful and unforgettable facility, they don't control the raw material for the club. So can you imagine if you buy a factory and you produce furniture, you produce furniture, but you don't plant trees? You need someone to give you the wood to produce your furniture. So the raw material, if you don't have the control, the middle stage, that is the factory, may be in trouble. So let's understand like a factory. You have the raw material, factory, customers. Club is in here. But what about the raw material? Because the first 9 years of this individual, this kid, he's not in the club. Oh, I have the scout. Okay. But the scout doesn't produce raw material. He just see and take it. So in a process for a soccer club, I've been watching people invest and talk about the facilities. I have 5 fields, I have 7 fields, I have 10 fields, I have a gym, I have this, I have that. Do you have the raw material? Can you control the raw material? Where did you take it? So that's the point I would like to share with you guys in terms of youth development, soccer youth development. Everybody's very focused on the process, but the foundation of the player happens in the first 8-9 years. In this phase, the player is not in the club. So maybe, I may be wrong, you see in Africa, you see in South America, kids that play on streets. Freedom to try, freedom to make mistakes, no pressure from anybody. Just play the game you love, try, make mistakes, keep trying, be there, be bold, enjoy, have fun. And then 8, 9, 10 years old, some scouts see you, oh, that's a very good kid, a huge talent, come to my club. The foundation, it's done. After that, development, improvement. That's my opinion. So it's a process that I don't see people talking about the 3 phases of the process, So I may be wrong, but that's the opinion, that's my reflection I'd like to share with you guys today, May 16th, 2023. So I talk about the building, I talk about the golden age. Now, what is a youth development academy? Youth development academy, place where the process, have the supply chain. So in this phase, this stage, you have the process being transformed, have the transformation. Try to, this young talent to become a professional soccer player. It's a process. Like a building is a process. You build the first floor, the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and keep going. It's a process. But the foundation will be there. Doesn't matter. The foundation will be there. Important detail people are forgetting. So the raw material I talked about the raw material. So kids are on streets playing soccer, and the scout see this guy or this young lady, or maybe the parents, go to the club. Oh, I have a kid, he plays very well. So the raw material is the main point in my opinion. So when kids are playing on streets, their mindset is completely different. Why? Because there's no pressure. There's no pressure from parents, there's no pressure from coach, there's no pressure from another people involved, no pressure. So their freedom to play helps them to improve much more. So as a coach in a club, my job is to get this kid as close as possible to the street reality. Focus on technique, foot skills, creativity, improvisation, and stimulate the kid to try. Keep trying. If you see something, if you see a soccer player on TV doing something, try. Copy, try. Forget about you have to win. No, you don't have to win. Win is good, win is nice. But you have to learn. Performance later on, not now. Not 9 years old, not 11 years old. It's not the time for performance. So that's my opinion. And I talk about the raw material, youth development, and where the raw material comes from. So you have local clubs, we have small clubs, we have streets, you have parks, you have schools. So in this place the kids are there. And culture, South America and Africa, they are on streets, they are on schools, they are on parks, they are in public space playing soccer. USA, they are in a small clubs, in a town club, playing soccer. The problem is, in South America and in Africa, I'm sure kids don't play soccer 2 hours a day. They don't play soccer 1 hour and a half a day. Think about it. In the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, the foundation years, they're playing soccer 5, 6, 7 hours a day. They play soccer every day, everywhere, all day long. Go to school, break time school, soccer. Outside of the school, soccer, 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 soccer. In South America, futsal. And then you go to your club. So if you think about it, it's hours and hours ahead in comparison with American kids. So I think it's a very important detail to think about it. And as a soccer coach, I try to figure out a way to help these kids during the session. Because sometimes they are like 9 years old, 10 years old. They have 1 hour and a half per day. Sometimes 3 days a week. It's about less than 5 hours per week. In Brazil, maybe the kids play 5 hours a day. America, 5 hours a week. So when I go to coach these kids, I have to talk less and give them more actions, more motor actions, more manipulate actions, footwork, foot skill actions. So again, details that, my opinion, are important. So, and to finalize my thoughts about it, you have here the scout guys. So these guys, they are looking for talented kids, but the point is, what is the culture of the guy, or what is the culture of the club? What is a talented kid? For me, a talented kid doesn't matter how strong, how tall. I want to see the footwork. I want to see the game reading. I want to see the game reading of the kid. But for some coaches or some scouts, they want a 10 years old kid, tall, strong, help a lot to win games. So again, culture. But anyway, doesn't matter. The point is the foundation is done. 9 years old, the foundation is done. My brain doesn't finish the development until 21 years old. So maybe, let's say I'm 21 years old. My brain is still finishing the full development, the full process. But of course, if I talk about a development for kids in terms of soccer, 9 years old, 10 years old, the foundation, all the stimulus, the motor, the coordination, all this is done. After that, you're going to go inside the development window. So, my opinion, if you buy a club, wonderful facility, 5, 7, 10 soccer fields, gym, restaurant, swimming pool, you have everything in your facility. If you don't have a good raw material, because you don't start to teach soccer from scratch to a 10 years old kid. So if you don't have a good raw material with a good foundation, it's not gonna work. So that's my thoughts about this, and hopefully people that are buying clubs in Brazil, they don't make this mistake. So I may be wrong, I'm not the owner of the truth, right? But I have an opinion, and in my opinion, the club, the soccer academy, the formation, this is the middle of the process. And the beginning of the process, the raw material that works in any business, any supply chain, you need the raw material. The raw material is not there, it's not inside the club. And you cannot do anything about it once it's in there. So if I buy a soccer club in Brazil, I would make sure that in the cities around me, like 1 hour drive, 2 hours drive, cities around me, close to me, not so far, I think 2 hours drive is not so bad. I would make sure I have, how can I say, points of contact. So very small, very local clubs, or soccer coaches doing soccer sessions there, or anything that those kids around my club in the first years of age, they play, they stay as close as possible to the freedom of a street soccer, because from 9 down or before 9 years old, you have very, very little, very close to zero control of the raw material. If you think about the process, a 7 years old kid, 8 years old kid, you have very little control. If this kid doesn't play somewhere else, doesn't have more hours somewhere else, or somewhere else, some coach somewhere, you will not have a good raw material. So that's my opinion, and hopefully, I have my email that you guys can see, and if you want to send me a text and give me your thoughts. So it's always good, because that's the way you learn, that's the way you grow. Nobody's the owner of the truth. Just listen, tell your opinion, listen another opinion, figure it out, and build what you believe, your thoughts. Alright, thanks so much, guys, and so it's Tuesday. Have a good week. Alright, see you, bye bye.